I am Gustave Eiffel, the engineer and builder of the tower that bears my name. And this is not just the story of an iron structure. It is proof that the impossible can be built with vision and resilience. Stay with me because what you're about to discover may change the way you see giant dreams. I was born in 1832 in Dijon, France, never imagining iron would define my destiny. From a young age, I was fascinated by structures that seemed to defy gravity. I observed bridges and buildings, wondering how they could hold so much weight. I decided to study engineering in Paris to understand the secrets of metal. Every correct calculation gave me silent confidence. I began working on railway projects that demanded absolute precision. I learned to respect wind, weight, and resistance. Iron stopped being a cold material and became my language. Without knowing it, I was preparing for something far greater than a bridge. I founded my own company and began signing my works with pride. My bridges began attracting attention across Europe. Each structure I raised seemed bolder than the last. I learned that iron could be elegant as well as strong. My reputation grew along with the height of my projects. I was entrusted with works many considered too risky. Every challenge overcome strengthened my ambition. The world began associating my name with innovation. I felt ready for something truly monumental, and that moment would not take long to arrive. I worked on the internal structure of a statue meant to symbolize freedom. The internal structure of the Statue of Liberty proved that iron could also support ideals. Soon after, a proposal emerged that seemed impossible. A 300-meter tower would dominate the Paris skyline. Many artists called it a monster before it even existed. I saw in it a work destined to change history. In 1887, construction began. Each piece was assembled with absolute precision. Criticism grew as the structure rose. But I never doubted the final result. Iron began rising over Paris like never before. Thousands of rivets joined the dream piece by piece. The wind became our greatest adversary. Each workday brought the structure closer to the sky. In 1889, we reached 300 meters. The world watched in silence the tallest structure ever built. What began as controversy started turning into awe. The tower became the unexpected symbol of modernity. Paris was never the same again. Neither was I. After glory came an opportunity as ambitious as it was dangerous. I became involved in the Panama Canal project, convinced it would be another historic feat. But soon debts, tropical diseases, and planning mistakes began sinking the entire project. When the company collapsed, one of the largest financial scandals in France erupted. In 1893, I faced a trial that threatened to erase everything I had built. The conviction was later overturned, but the damage was already done. I felt public admiration turn into suspicion. The glory that lifted me now seemed to weigh on my shoulders. I understood that success can be as fragile as glass. And I decided to step away from the noise of business. I withdrew from major contracts to seek answers in silence. I turned my tower into a laboratory to study the invisible force of the wind. I observed how air could shape the fate of structures. My experiments began yielding unexpected knowledge. I realized the future was not only in building high, but in understanding motion. The tower stopped being just a monument and became a scientific tool. My studies contributed to the early development of aviation. In silence, I found a new form of greatness. The wind, once an enemy, became a teacher. And I understood that my legacy could go beyond iron. Many believe the tower would be dismantled after 20 years. However, its usefulness for telecommunications saved it from oblivion. Science gave a second life to my most controversial work. The city that rejected it began to see it differently. Visitors no longer came out of curiosity, but admiration. The tower became the visible symbol of a new era. Every sunrise over Paris confirmed that time was proving me right. My name began separating from scandal and reconnecting with innovation. I understood that true works need patience to be understood. And patience had finally prevailed. In 1923, I closed my eyes for the last time, certain I had left my mark. My tower continued rising above generations who never knew the initial controversy. The iron many despised came to represent elegance and progress. Paris embraces the tower as its visible heart to the world. Every photograph, every visitor, and every upward glance extends my story. I understood that criticism is temporary, but vision remains. Structures may rust, but ideas do not. I did not just build a tower, I built a statement of possibility. Today, millions look at this tower without realizing it was once called impossible.